All right, everybody, welcome back to episode 3 of Conversation of Pastimes. It's me, your boy J Mac, and your boy Jeremy, and we are here to do it again. So I was telling you earlier, brother, we was talking about just comedic timing and stuff, and I was just saying my baby girl got it. All right, so my
Okay.
big girl got mad because she wanted to make a smoothie. She go in the kitchen, she looking around. I thought we had bananas. I was like, nah, she ate the last one. I was talking about the baby. And she was like, well, I would make myself a smoothie, but somebody ate all the bananas. And without missing a beat, my baby girl said, I sure did. It was good too. Bruh,
It was good too.
I almost died because like I just hear this out of nowhere. Like she's in another room. She just come out of nowhere. I sure did. It was good too. I was like, now what you gonna do?
And
Next
how
week,
old is she?
she's 3.
A 3-year-old came
3-year
in
old. Canceled out a 10-year-old.
came in with that. She gonna be something to have to deal with. She
Yeah.
don't start no trouble, but then she got that mouth, she can keep it up.
Hey man, so I was telling
That's
you about my
good.
new dad joke, right?
Okay, yeah, yeah.
All right. So what does all lunch meat have in common once it goes beneath your kneecap?
I don't know.
It's all baloney.
I
Bal-
don't get it.
baloney, bro.
But Lonely,
Once it
yeah,
goes
see.
beneath
All
your
right, so, I get it now. So
kneecap.
I'm gonna need you to stop hanging with all the dads at the park and shit
Come
because
on now.
because they're rubbing off on you. Y'all hang out at the park, letting the kids play, and then
Man,
y'all just
playing chess.
trading jokes there.
Yes, trading jokes.
That's funny. That's funny. That's funny. But yeah, going back like what I was saying about, I'm just not good at like snaps with people. Think about it. You know how somebody just be super witty. You can think about all the guys. We grew up around in high school and stuff. They was just comedians, right? And they just had that part going. I don't really have that. I really can't sit there and say like, okay, like I can go joke for joke with somebody. When they get to going with jokes or whatever, I'll get going, because I ain't want to be picked on. So I was like, man, I don't want them to say nothing about me because I don't have no. The only comeback I got is like saying something terrible to them,
Yeah,
and like saying something mean,
yeah.
and that's not part of the game. You
That's
know
why
what I
you
mean?
peed yourself last week.
Yeah.
Hey
You
man,
know what
I told you that in confidence. What we gonna do? What you gonna do?
I'm saying? And like even like to this day. Like shoot, my buddies, I'm with Steve O and them or whatever, like they get to going. I go to the other room sometimes. So I turn the TV on. I get my phone or something because I don't I stay away from it, you know? And I've always been like that. Like I've looked myself I looked myself in the mirror before and try to like say jokes and look funny in the mirror, like before school or something, you know, just didn't work out, man. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay, we gonna get him today. So
Yeah,
your mom, hey man, don't talk about my mama like that. What she?
yeah, yeah.
Oh,
It's like,
what is you
like
doing?
your mama something, or I'll just say something crazy, or I just wish like the worst on you. Like, wish that just bad things plagued you for the rest of your life. I'm for real.
Somebody
I'm for,
snapping, yeah, Jeremy. That's why. Da 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 da. You like? That's why your stock portfolio ain't gonna be shit, and you gonna go back. Like,
that's why you're gonna be. That's why you're gonna have 4 kids and be divorced at 30. Them kids ain't even yours. You've been paying child support on them. I'll say something like that to you. And she do,
ooh.
and she'll hit you. She'll hit you like what Eddie Murphy said. Like she leave you, and then talk about some how Eddie. I want how. I was coming to me, Eddie. Like that, man.
No.
So like I would just wish like just the worst things on like the dudes, man. Like I just be like, okay, all right.
Oh man, that's how you have fun, especially like when you go to house parties. Well, and I think a lot of that is me and John Price used to do that junk all the time. He used to always want to freestyle with me, so we would always do that.
Oh
No matter
yeah,
where we was
R.I.P.
at, we would end up starting a cipher somewhere.
Oh yeah, R.I.P. Price, the assassin, man.
Oh, JP,
Great
man,
dude.
I looked at his obituary today, bro. That was rough.
Great dude. I see, he was 2 years older than me, 1 year
Yeah,
older than me. I was in college. I was in college. I think I was living in my apartment.
yeah, you would have been because
He was in Valley.
he was at Valley, yeah, and
Mm-hmm.
some chick ran him over leaving the nightclub.
Mm-hmm. You know,
Well, I
and
won't say she's some chick to me, but they knew each other.
oh wow. See, I didn't know all of that.
It
I,
was
I just heard
supposedly
about
it
it.
was some chick that he was messing with, and I guess they wasn't seeing eye to eye.
Oh, nah, yeah. See, I didn't know all that. It was one of them situations to where it made it down to Hattiesburg where
Yeah,
I was at. Like, like a day or so later. You
yeah,
know what I mean? And then I remember hearing about that. I was like, wow, that's crazy. Because that guy, man, I mean, man, you know how they say, man, a good die young. And
yeah.
I mean, he was a good guy, good,
I
good guy.
I remember,
His little brother was, what I'm saying, I ain't seen him in a while. His little brother's a good kid too.
yeah. Eddie actually lived down here with me.
Cool, cool,
Yeah,
cool.
he actually lived down here around where I'm at.
That's right. He's fighting, isn't
Yup.
he? Dude, see, sometimes you gotta leave home.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
gotta leave home to go do something.
yeah.
You know, that's a, that's something right there that I kind of wanted to bring up. It's the idea of staying in a small town you grew up in versus branching out and going and finding opportunities for yourself.
Yeah. Well, you get comfortable. A lot of people get comfortable, and this is
Yeah,
what you know. You've been here all your life. You don't want to go because you got your safety net.
right, right. I would agree with that 100%. For me, my situation, I was just like, man, the first opportunity I get to get out of here, I'm gone. And it was more so like I wanted to leave the state. I wanted to, get out and get away. And the reason why I wanted to get out and I wanted to get away was because I've seen or I saw everything that I needed to see around, our community, our area, that part of Mississippi. So the first opportunity for me, I jumped on it. And you know what? I wouldn't be where I am today had I stayed at home or I just stayed in that area, been working, staying in that area, but then driving to either Hattiesburg or Jackson. I, I wouldn't be where I am today. Not at all. I wouldn't have the things that I have. I wouldn't. I wouldn't have met the people that I've met. In good, bad, and indifferent. But I learned lessons from them all. And that's what you know. I'm kind of biased or partial towards. I think you should leave just to see what kind of just see what your texture's like, just to see what you made of.
Yeah,
You know? Because think about it, you're at home, especially in a smaller town. Everybody knows everybody, and you kind of catch a break or two here and there. Especially growing up in the schools that we did. Me personally, I was a teacher's kid, which that had its ups and its downs. But I had a lot of favor, just based off of my mom being a teacher and then, my dad being active in the community. So it was times where had I been in another town doing stuff that I was doing there, I would have been in trouble. And I just got blessed on that. But then, I moved away, got faced with new challenges. Yeah, granted, I have my support system at home. Not so much of a safety net, what I would call it, but a support system. And they were able to kind of talk me through a few little incidents that I went through. But the rest of it was me waking up, looking at me every day, asking me, asking myself, like, what are you gonna do today?
Mm-hmm.
So you kind of get that independent streak in you. Now, granted, some folks don't need to leave too far from home. And like I'm just speaking on my behalf. I'm speaking for myself, and I'm sure
Right.
you can agree with that.
Yeah.
But some people, they don't need to leave the house. They need to stay right across the yard from their parents.
No, man. I like what I was saying, the safety net. You got, okay, say for instance, you were at home. Just say if you didn't leave, your safety net was the support system that you had once you left the house. But if you
Hmm.
would have stayed at the house, it was a safety net because you got mama's, you got your parents' house, so you ain't really paying the bills, or at least not all of them. They might throw you a light bill or something every now and then if they did that. But you got, when you stand with your family, whoever it is, whether it's your parents, your grandparents, whoever, you always got somebody there that if shit hit the fan, you ain't really out nothing because they've been paying the bills the whole time anyway. They've been taking
Absolutely.
care of shit whether you there or not.
Right.
But what I'm saying, once you branch out on your own, this you. This
Hmm.
just what you got to take care of. What I'm saying? Your apartment is your apartment. If you mess around and become one of those lucky people that can move away from home and jump right into your own house, that shit is you.
Hmm.
Electricity, the lights, everything, that's you. So yeah, you got that support system that's like, hey man, if you fall, I'm gonna be here to help you up. But I'm only gonna help you so many times before you gonna have to figure this shit out. But like I
Hmm.
said, that safety net, no matter what goes wrong, whatever happens, it is what it is because I'm here. And saying, I know y'all been taking care of me for X amount of years, and that ain't gonna stop. Whether they, I mean, it's not something that you say verbally, but mentally, that it's always
Thinking
there.
that you can get away with stuff, and you think that your parents are like always got your back.
Yeah,
And then that right there kind of goes to what I call being spoiled at times. Some kids maybe being too spoiled, or I guess you could say somewhat coddled or enabled. Now, granted, I'm not a parent yet. I will be pretty soon, but I sit and I think about how, I like to think ahead, so I try to figure out how I'll handle certain situations. And I can only resort back to the way, I mean, I can resort back to several things, several tools that what my parents used with me. But shoot, what if that don't work with my kid? I got to figure out my kid, and then me as a parent, I have to create that safe space, that safe zone to where he is not afraid to tell the truth, not afraid to tell the truth for fear of repercussions, but just say what's going on and not hide anything, because kids do that, what I'm saying?
yeah,
Like they get in trouble one time and it's like touching the stove. They don't, they remember that. They remember that they done got yelled at
yeah,
for doing something. So then they don't know why they should do it, why they shouldn't. They just remember getting fussed at or getting, like, punished. And so then now they continue to do it. They just hide it,
yeah. Well,
you
see,
know?
that's why I try to instill in my kids. Yeah, you're probably gonna get in trouble, but it's always better for you to be up front
Yeah,
and tell
true.
me now. That way we can get ahead of it. Because if I'm behind it, I can't tell you how I'm gonna react, and I can't tell you what to do really at that point because this, saying it's already an issue.
Hmm.
Saying my daughter has asked me that before, like, well, if I just tell you everything, am I gonna get in trouble? It depends on what it is. And I was like, I'm never gonna tell you that you're not gonna get in trouble because I'm not. That would be me lying to you, and I ain't gonna lie to you. But yeah,
Hmm.
you might get in trouble, but it's gonna be worse if I have to find out about it on the back end, especially if I done already caught you in it and I ask you about it and you tell me no, and then I find out that it was yes. You gonna be facing some even stricter consequences.
Yeah,
Saying, or
absolutely.
even when I get on to my kids, um I remember being a kid, so I have to remember that too. But also we well, I won't say we because I don't know, but I know with me, it was like because I said so. And because I said so, it was never really a good answer for me, but I never questioned it. I now have children who question it, and it's like, look, I had to sit them both down. I was like, look, when I tell you to go do something, go do it. And then when I come and talk to you about it to tell you why I sent you to your room or whatever, then we can have that debate. And if I'm wrong, I don't have a problem apologizing. I will tell you that I'm wrong. I have no problem admitting when I'm wrong. But if you're trying to argue with me in that moment, you ain't doing nothing but pissing me off and making it worse for yourself.
Facts.
So if I say go to your room, just go to your room. Don't say, well, hold on, but this is cause what had happened. Get the fuck up. Go to your room.
It's a level of respect, and that's where it comes in. For us being fathers,
Yeah.
and raising children. Like, we have to be active. We have to be there. We have to. Society has made it too normal, in my opinion, for the dad, for it to be okay if the dad's there or not.
Yeah.
And then now, granted, I may have a little bit of backlash for saying this, but I feel like if the parent, either or, is unfit, like is actually like, drugging, or like abusing drugs, alcohol, something like that, like they're just not stable, like that's one thing right there. And then honestly, if the parent just doesn't want anything to do with it, that must have meant that he made a bad decision trying to conceive his kid.
Yeah.
But if you say, like, if the mom and dad are having issues, and then he wants to be in his kid's life, but he don't know how to communicate that to her, and she's just as broken with daddy issues too. So now you just got two people with some sort of trauma from the past that's hindering them again. So now they're creating what you call generational curses. Both of them have things going on. So society has made it okay that, all right, well, dad don't have to be there because mama gonna get it by any means. Now, granted, there are a lot of very strong women.
Yes.
A lot of them. I know a bunch of them that can do it, that have done it. I've seen it. But then, say for instance, you get that one dad that actually wants to be there, and then the woman's bitter because he don't want to be with her. So now she used the kids as a pawn. To me, that's unacceptable. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, to me, that's unacceptable. And then the reason why I speak on that, it's been, kind of on my heart the last couple of weeks, is because I've seen it happen to people that are close to me.
Yeah.
I've seen it happen, and it's just like, so then it comes up, like a thing that circles back to, you and I talking about raising kids, and like how you handle your household. All right, so you've established that. So then, all right, so what, if a parent has established that in their house, that's the rules in that house. Okay. They go over to the other parent's house. It's got a separate set of rules, especially like if they're vindictive towards each other.
Yeah.
Got a separate set of rules. And just because there's structure at one house, homework, eat, bath, like TV time and sleep. They go over to the other parent house in the middle of the week towards the weekend, split custody times. That other parent can just very well just spite that other person and just mess the kid up off their whole schedule because they want to have fun.
Let them wild out.
Because they want to have fun, right? They want to be the cool parent.
Yeah. We want to be the friend.
You see what I'm saying?
You're not staying with your parent. You coming to stay with your older home girl or homeboy.
Exactly. That's just how, so it's so much stuff. But then, I mean, this topic can be broken down in so many pieces, man, just because it's, you know, in my opinion, there's been an absence of a lot of morals and values lately. And then like that family dynamic has like deteriorated. What you've created, what I'm trying to create too. Like that's, dude, we're the last of that of like that generation of old school people, like being raised by old school people.
Yeah.
We're the last ones. Let's just think about it. So it's up to us to raise our kids up that same exact way with those same values.
Mhm.
Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. Yes, sir. No, sir. Hold the doors for ladies. Chivalry. Kindness, being nice to people, things like that. And creating that safe space at home with your kids to where they don't go and just feel comfortable with talking to teachers or talking to, like a school bus driver or what have you. We need to make that safe at the house, man.
I was telling my oldest daughter this the other day, and it's something that we didn't realize as kids. But saying I told her that me and my wife want to create a safe space for her. So,
Mm-hmm.
saying be able to come and talk to us, no matter how uncomfortable the conversation might be. You need to come and talk to us because we have wisdom that we can, bestow upon you that
Mm-hmm.
your friends can't give to you.
Mm-hmm.
Because at the end of the day, no matter what your friend tells you, guess what? They're fucking 10. You're 10. They can't tell you shit. They trying to figure out life just like you trying to figure it out. Now they might have heard a little bit more than you heard, but that don't make them an expert on anything.
Mm-hmm.
And I can say that, saying just from experience. I know I did that with some of my friends. I'm not gonna say everything, but there was times where you might come to, send one of your friends that's done that's already done something that you hadn't experienced yet. And
Mm-hmm.
because they've experienced it, you feel like they know everything about it. And it's like, nah, they just got a head start on you, but they don't know much more than you do.
No, they were just exposed to something before you were. That's all
Exactly.
it was. And, you know, like I couldn't imagine trying to raise, daughters. You got that. But at
Yeah.
the same, but at the same time, you got to be their first, first person, the first male to show them how they're supposed to be treated. And then not only that, but then girls mature faster than boys do. So you're getting ready to go into like the preteen years.
Hush your mouth.
So you're ready to go into that. So I'll be praying for you. Um, um, but it's a situation to where you and Jen are doing a very good job. I feel like just based off what you're telling me, with y'all creating that safe space to where y'all can talk now, because that teenage girl, that rebellious side and all of that, like it's like y'all have done a very good job with cultivating early
Yeah.
and having those conversations because unfortunately you and I saw those girls that rebelled at teenage
Yeah.
years.
Yeah.
And they didn't really have much of a good reputation at times, whether it was true or not. So y'all are doing well. So I want to give you your props for that. Number
Appreciate
one,
that.
I want to give you that. So that's just something. But the parents, the dad has to be in the house to do that.
Yeah.
Like I said, I can say, no, mama can do it. Mama has proven that she can do it. She will do it, but it's gonna be something missing. She ain't gonna be able to do it all. She's gonna do 90% of it, 95. There's
I
gonna be
won't necessarily say that the dad has to be in the house, but if you do have a co-parenting situation, it's just like you referenced earlier, it's got to be a cohesive thing. You can't have
exactly.
one that's trying to be the parent and the other one trying to be an asshole just because they want to make the other parent look bad.
Yeah, you can't do that. You can't do that right there at all. Um, and then like you said, like you don't have to force a parent to be there. Like I said, like if the parent ain't conducive, to that kid's well-being, then that's different. Then it's best if they stay away.
Yeah.
Like if they ain't, ready to take that responsibility, if they don't have the ability to be able to think through and truly see and feel what his kid needs, they gone, bro. Because you're doing worse.
Yeah, you're doing more harm than good.
You're doing more harm than good by popping in, popping out, popping in, popping out, popping in, popping out. Like you're doing more, an issue. And I'll say that right there because there are some men out there that do that. And that's why I was saying like society has made it okay for that now. Society's made that right there okay, but we need to be the ones that's going to take that back.
Part of that is because you had that whole independent woman thing come around, and a lot of people got that twisted. Yes. And I actually saw something on this the other day that tripped me out. It was like, all y'all got all worked up over this independent woman thing, and Beyonce went and got Jay-Z. Not that she need his money, but she is also not alone. So a lot of people took that and was like, oh yeah, I can be independent. I don't need no man. I can do this and I can do that. And it's like, okay, but now what? Now what you do is you decided to be independent, but you talk shit about your baby daddy because you won't allow him to see his child.
Exactly. And that's what I mean. Society has done that. I was my wife and I, we were in the mall. This was probably over a year ago. We were out, and then we had decided to go into Express. And we're looking in there, and by this time I didn't got tired of walking around in there, so I'm just sitting down on whatever I can find to sit down on in that sun gun. And I overheard this lady, and she looked like she was probably maybe late 30s, early to mid 40s. Like pretty girl. I mean, she didn't look bad. But she was in there with like one of her friends, and she was so loud, and she was so just down playing and down talking men. Like, I don't need no person, blah, 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 blah. And then, dude, like, I've been around some pretty foul stuff, but the way she was talking made me uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I was like, dang. But then I was like, man, she is bitter. So whether this right here was by somebody just really did her bad, and I'm sorry for that right there, or she just got a chip on her shoulder, and she's the reason why relationships can't work. Because if she's this way right here now, if she's trying to be with somebody else, man, she gonna take that dude down through there. And dudes is wising up now too. Right? Yeah. So guys are wise. Guys are like waking up. They're like, wait a minute. Like, I don't have to just deal with that now. Yeah. I don't have to deal with that. I mean, you got dudes that are filing for divorce because the woman is toxic.
Yeah.
They done messed around and didn't play their cards the right way on the front end. Now he's stuck. And there you go. But man, his girl, man, she was really bad off. And then I sat there and listened to her, and I kept looking at my wife, just kind of see if she heard her, if she was looking around or anything like that. And she paying no mind. I was like, man, you hear this? She looking around, pulling off stuff, putting it up against her, looking in the mirror here, like that, So,
hey,
you hear? No, I was quiet because I didn't want her to hear me say something like that, then go off on me. Then it's a scene.
Mind your business, okay?
Yeah, exactly. Then it's a scene.
This is what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
I didn't do that. And
then guess what? Like I was saying earlier, I don't know how to just go back like that. So guess what? It's right there too. Let me tell you about yourself. Man, it's right there at it. I don't know how to I don't know how to, combat that kind of, hostility right there without just saying some real bad words to make you
Right.
just talking. So as we're walking out, I tell my wife, I'm like, "Did you hear that?" And she's like, "Yeah, I heard a little bit of it." And I said, "Man, that lady is hurt or bitter or both. And unless she lets some stuff go, she's not gonna be fit for nobody. She gonna be single, talking about I don't need a man. She gonna be that friend that's around the friend that's got it going on. It's got the relationship, got the good dude, got the good job, got all this stuff. Like they making plans, got a family. She gonna be the one that's gonna be in that girl's ear talking negative.
Mm-hmm.
That third wheel is always around, always lonely, waiting for that friend to have one little argument with her man.
See,
And
that's what I'm
then
talking about right there. You see how he
exactly.
said that?
Exactly.
What?
It's always gonna be like that.
And but see, that also needs to be that would also be on the friend with the good relationship, because you got to be strong enough to know that your friend is in her feelings and she ain't shit for her
Pretty
relationship.
much.
So you got to be smart enough to know, like, okay, she done had 5 failed marriages. She don't know shit about nothing.
Nothing.
Can't
She
tell me
don't
nothing, because it's always the people who don't have strong relationships or who have
that's
never
got the
been in
most opinions.
a relationship that's got the most to talk about. And look,
Got
that's
the
what I
most
was
to talk
talking
about, bruh. Like,
about today, and it's like, shut up, you.
dude, I saw it so much, and like I thank God that I had the discernment to be able to peep out stuff early. Um, and then different situations that came about, I was able to understand and see actually what it was.
Yeah,
And then it started, because that becomes a real tough course to navigate. And I'm going to say that because like I've somewhat been around that and had to deal with that.
yeah,
That becomes a very tough field to navigate, because I know that if I got my close group of friends and somebody was to just start just bad mouthing them without knowing them, I'd have an issue with that. And then the first thing in my head would be they were here before you were,
mm-hmm.
regardless of what. And then so you really got to watch what you say and how you say it too. So then, you see stuff like that, you got to just start peeping out. What's allowed by your significant other that's around them people. If they allowing that gossip and all that kind of stuff just happen, one or two things is gonna happen. As soon as she get up and go, they're gonna talk about her.
Yeah,
That's number one.
absolutely.
And then number two is that deep down, she's like that.
Yep.
Somewhere it's hidden, it's pushed down because everything's good, right? So that's two factors, and it's two different things. And if that right there is not addressed up front, and then y'all got respect for each other and bounds to where you don't just talk about, what I'm saying, like you as a dude, you don't talk about your problems or your boys, about that, about your significant other, and she don't go talk about, like you to her girls. Like that's the thing right there. Like you don't include your friends into y'all's own drama, because if it doesn't work out, between either or, I don't want my friends to look at her different.
Right.
That's me being the man that's protecting her.
Right.
And then she should do the same thing, and definitely the same way with family.
Yes.
Like you don't like if it's like if it's all to blow up, you don't want your family looking at her bad like that. If you truly meant what you said whenever you took your vows to protect her. Protecting is more than just standing in front taking a bullet, bro.
Yeah.
You know, um, but to like that's something right there that you got to want to learn and want to understand,
Yeah.
because you ain't gonna hear that if somebody's trying to tell you about it, bro.
bro. And that's something that a lot of people don't understand about relationships in general. And it's something that a lot of people go through life and never grasp that concept.
They
Dude,
never will.
I broke up with a girl when I was in college for that very reason.
Talk too much.
Said, well, what it was, somebody was talking about me behind my
Mm-hmm.
back, and it got back to me, but she was also in the vicinity when it happened. And she knew that somebody had already reached out to me about it. And so she tried to get in front of it. Was like, look, I just didn't want to cause no trouble. I'm sorry, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, yeah, but you were in that situation and you allowed that to happen. So
Mm-hmm.
in the words of my friend Money Mike, where were your antennas while this was taking place? And I was like, you know what? Just give me a minute. Don't call me, don't text me, just let me process this. Bro,
Mm-hmm.
I said that, hung up the phone, and for 2 hours straight, all I got was text. Hey, talk to me. Phone calls. Hey, why you ain't answering? I'm like, because I just told your ass. Let me process. Leave it.
So that means she don't listen. That's why she wasn't. That's why she wasn't
And I
defending.
was like, when I finally answered the phone, I said, hey, look, let me tell you something. I asked you for space. You know what I'm saying? I said, give me a few minutes. Let me figure this out. Let me, that way we can have a conversation. And I'm not just pissed off because I feel like in this situation, you in the wrong. You
Mm-hmm.
didn't say nothing to back this person down. And you ain't have to be disrespectful, but you just had to let them know, like, hey, look, this my dude you talking about. Like,
Yeah.
mind, figure out something. And I was like, and all I asked was for a little time to myself. And I was like, you can't give me that. And this is a small problem. Imagine if this was something big. You can't
Mm-hmm.
handle that pressure. I was like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm good.
Yeah. Yeah. She probably dodged a huge bullet. Well, you did. And I mean, people don't grasp that, that aspect. Um, I think it's because they don't want to though. Because I'm not the only dude that's done said what I said, tonight. You got people on all social media platforms talking the same stuff. You got people talking about those things, but then it goes back to that generation of people that raised us versus, like people not being raised like that.
Yeah,
You don't talk about your problems like that. Like you don't put your business out there in the streets.
yeah,
That's stuff stay at the house.
yeah.
You know, um, and like that's just it. Like you don't do that. I was talking to a guy. This is just several months ago, and his wife, and then I know both of them. Actually live over here. Um, I actually worked with him, and his wife was cheating on him, and he found out it was right there. But he was a good dude, like just a real nice person, but too nice. He
Yeah.
was real naive and very soft spoken, and she wasn't the type that needed that. This is, I mean, like I'm not trying to be real chauvinistic or whatever, but
You want a
she
rough
didn't need
dude.
it. Yeah, she didn't need no nice dude. Like they just weren't compatible. Like she run over the nice guy, and she cheated on him with a rough dude. And um, I asked him. I said, "Man, how are you so calm? Like how are you able to just not be upset? You know, not asking for a friend, was asking like for me. I want to know like how are you able to keep it cool like that? Because you're gonna lose everything, and she just gonna get away with it scot free. That's what I said to him, just like that. And then he said, "Man, it's not even about that." I'm like, What's it about?" Like I sat down, man. I said, "Okay, I need you to tell me." And then he actually hit me with a Bible scripture. as far as like with like with Joseph and Mary. Joseph wasn't married. I mean, like Jesus wasn't Joseph's son, in the Bible, but Joseph didn't go around talking about her. It was known that she was pregnant. It was known there was a kid that was born, but he didn't put her out there like that. So then I say to myself, okay, so you're just a real kind guy, like you're forgiving like that. But how do you still not get upset, and how you still not get mad? And he said, I don't get mad because if she continues to do what she's doing, she's gonna have it worse than I ever will. I said, yeah, you're right. You know, so you got some people that can be calm about that, but then you got some people that's not plugged in and that already got issues. When that right there happens,
Wait,
I'm serious. Like he
he said not plugged in. Like,
not plugged in, man. Not plugged in. They ain't locked in, right? So then if something like that happened to them, what's gonna happen?
somebody getting thrown out of a window.
Yeah, somebody gonna die. And then they're gonna self snitch on each other. They're gonna go live when they do it. Like just like the stupidest thing ever.
Yeah. Dude,
I'm about to pull up, y'all. I'm about to pull up, y'all. I'm
I'll
about to pull
say
up.
I'll say this right here, and then saying we'll take a break. But I have never understood why when people are in a committed relationship and somebody cheats, why the person who's getting cheated on goes after the person who is not their spouse, but they go, saying they want to. So say for instance, a dude get cheated on by his girlfriend or his wife. He want to go fight the other dude. That other dude didn't make a commitment to you. That other dude is not the one that's supposed to be your ride or die, that's supposed to be holding you down. So why are you going after them? They play a part, but unless it's somebody that you know personally who just deliberately came after you, it ain't got nothing to do with them.
I would agree 100%. You just said a mouthful at the end right there. You said unless you know that person, and then like he done been at your house, and then like what I'm saying, like y'all supposed to be boys, and this is happening. Unless it's that situation, the dude's getting off scot free. He just better not be running his mouth. Like he just need to leave.
Yeah.
Like just go, bro. It's ain't got nothing to do with you. That energy need to be taken to her, with just trying to figure out why she would do that. But then if it's the other way around, to where if it's somebody that somebody you work with or something like that, and then they smiling in your face at work, but they're doing it right there. That's how the news get made.
Yeah. Exactly.
I'm just saying. That's how some things come about, and it all goes back to society. Our society has created that kind of atmosphere and that kind of leeway to where it's acceptable to either have a broken home. Now they make songs about it, and then they make songs about like cheating on significant other. Now, granted, these are all real life things, and these artists are just singing about real life. That's what you're supposed to do. But you get people that don't have the mindset to think through it, and they can't decipher it being from like entertainment to real life. Then they go do dumb stuff. But then it's another situation to where if you as a man and the woman steps out in like a like now situation, you got to ask yourself too, as a man, what were you doing wrong? What did you miss? And if you can honestly check all the boxes in your favor, okay, that makes that dagger slide out a little bit easier.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like if you can check out, like if you can look at yourself in the mirror and say, okay, well, I did this, I did this, I did this, I did this, I did this. Okay. Take it right there off. That makes it a little bit easier, but it's still on you. Yeah. Are you ready to hear this one?
Uh-oh.
Because you should have been vetting her before you even decide to marry her. You should have been looking for qualities, all the qualities that you wanted in a spouse before you decided to say I do, regardless if she was pushing you to get married, because that's just what society wants you to do. You know, you should have been checking the boxes and looking for red flags. And then if you did that too, it's still on you. You know why it's still on you? No. You know why it's still on you? Because you didn't have your guard up. You got too comfortable and you weren't paying attention. You weren't being aligned. She done got away. She done bit that apple. Talk to that snake.
Literally.
Literally. She done ate that apple, man. She talking to that snake and ate that apple.
I can't I know where you're going with that, but I don't completely agree. But it
I'm
is
the kind of person that's gonna do this 10 times before I do this one time. And then when I do this one time, it's over. Volcano erupting.
well, I
Because
mean I like I said, man, I don't believe because some people are good at as they say, some people are good at putting on that mask.
oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And so you might not be able to take it off because you thought you was looking at this the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
Little did you know that you never saw the real person, but you fell in love with the facade that they created. So I ain't gonna necessarily say that it was on you, because if that person checked all the boxes that you was looking for, then I mean, in your eyes, you won.
Mm-hmm.
But you were being deceived the whole time. That's not, I still don't see that as a complete indictment on you.
That's what I mean. Well, yeah, I get what you're saying there. And then I didn't make myself, very clear on it. But I was saying you should have been checking the boxes. Some may say it's toxic traits. Some may say it's not. But I don't see anything wrong with testing. See how you act when you get drunk.
All right. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
So let me see how you act in this situation. So we stressed out. Let me see how you act.
Okay. So now that's a little bit different.
You see what I'm saying?
That's
That's what
different.
I mean by,
Yeah.
that's what I mean right there. Like, some may say it's, that's not okay, and that's not okay. But the ones that say that's not okay is because they want a simp that's not going to do something like that to them. In my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
But you got to check yourself these days. It wasn't like that, like 30, 40 years ago,
Yeah.
but it's like that now
Yeah.
because it
I
all goes back to society.
no, 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 no. Mm-mm. It was definitely like that years ago. I mean, think about how many stories you heard about grandpas and uncles, or great uncles rather, that had two or three families.
It was
And
the man that was doing it. It was the man that was doing it. The woman was allowing it. So it was a different set. And you know what that's right there was caused from? It's okay that the man is out of the house. It's okay for the men to be unfaithful. Now society has
you
made
had
it
some
the
women
other way.
that was doing it too, though.
I mean, yeah, you guys, dude, you had just as many trifling women, especially like in these small little rural country town communities. You
Mm-hmm.
had just as many women that was just as trifling as you did when you had just as men or whatever. And then the kids that grew up and saw that right there, the ones that were our parents' age, I mean, that was a reality. So they had a choice. Do I want to live like that or do I want to live something different? But what I'm saying is that the way social media has portrayed things now, it's all about people getting on and these girls doing all this stuff for likes and attention. and these dudes are just doing stupid stunts for clout, like really putting themselves in harm's way. Like you mess with the wrong one. Um, like it's a circus now. So there's no core values. You
Mhm.
see what I'm saying? That's my point I'm making. Like there's a lot of non-core values and nobody's wanting to have structure, you know. And that's just my own 2 cents out of it. I, what I say don't apply for everybody. I ain't saying that nobody should follow what I'm believing in what I'm doing, but I'm I'm a free thinker, so I think about why something is happening. Why is this
Thinker
constantly
too. I
happening
don't
now?
charge nobody.
Huh?
But I'm a free thinker too. I don't charge nobody.
Yeah, yeah, I'm gonna sit down. I'm gonna just, analyze the situation. Like, why is this happening now? Because it wasn't happening like this before. What changed?
All right. Well, with that being said, I'm gonna go find a shoulder to cry on, and we'll be right back. All right, so we are back from break. So I wanted to give a little pushback on what you were saying. I
Okay,
agree with you to an extent.
okay.
However, I will say some people just have that in them. I mean, because you say check all the boxes and look within self, but what if self is doing everything right? And just like you said in that one scenario with the young lady seeking something else because the person that she was with just wasn't doing it for her. That has nothing to do with him.
Mm-hmm.
That's all on her. And even if that's the case, bottom line is communication is key in a
Mm-hmm.
relationship, regardless. So if it's something that saying you as a man is you're not fulfilling for your woman, a part of that, that bound that y'all have to each other, she's supposed to be able to come to you and let you know that. That way y'all can, if y'all can fix it, y'all can fix it.
I would agree 100% on that. I agree with you on that part right there. Because that same thing can very well happen, and then the female feels like she's doing everything. So yeah, you're right about that. You have to have open communication, and if it does come to that, in my opinion, you need to talk to your spouse and see if you can fix it. If you can't fix it, then go through the proper channels and
Now, I
and
will say
don't disrespect your spouse like that.
I will say now another thing that you said that makes perfect sense when you say it's society. It is society because society makes everybody. It used to be just men, but now it's
Mhm,
not just men. Society makes everybody believe that you should have a A player and a B player.
mhm.
And that is never good for anybody.
Yep,
Now,
absolutely.
don't get me wrong, some people do some people do okay and they make it through life with an A player and a B player and a C player and a D player. But to
Mhm.
me personally, that kind of lifestyle never made sense to me.
No,
Because
no.
if you commit your life to somebody, then you should be able to work those things out with that somebody. If you wanted to, saying be in the streets, then that's where you should have stayed.
Exactly, exactly.
So
Don't try to fulfill something that everybody asks you when you get married, when you gonna have babies. Like that's the two most ridiculous questions that I could like. I literally cannot stand for people to put pressure on somebody else. Are you gonna pay for the divorce if this don't work out? Are you gonna pay for the kids' daycare? You gonna pay for the other 3 kids' daycare because you keep asking us before the
don't
first one drops?
don't don't help me pay for shit.
Yeah,
You worried about me having babies so bad. When
yeah,
you gonna babysit?
yeah. When you gonna babysit? None of that, right? But that's what people do, and then that's a
But see, that's a societal thing too,
that's a very
because
that's a very
because
very rude thing,
you grew
because
you
some
grew
women
up
can't have kids,
you
right?
grew up believing that you were supposed to be married by a certain age. You were supposed to have kids by a certain age. You were supposed to have so many things going on in your life at a certain age. But if you look at most people's situations, they didn't hit they either hit a lot of those strides too early or too late. But
Right.
it's all about timing for you and whoever you choose to, do that with.
I know for me that I wasn't boyfriend material, much less husband material, me at 25 years old.
Hmm. Oh,
Me
25, I was wilding. Wow.
Me at 26 years old, same thing. 27 years old, same thing. 28, 29, 30, same exact thing. So for me, it wasn't much of a societal thing. It's like, look, I'm only going to put enough strain on myself and enough, and I'm going to protect somebody else by not getting involved like that with them.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do them a favor. At that point, I was not the person that you look at today then. And I'm proud to say that, I've came a long way. Um, and my wife, she helped me develop and just like really gave me a lot of purpose when she came along. She came along at the right time for me, you know. So you get society, and that's that small town thing.
Yeah.
People want to get married early and, and just, keep that. That's good and fine, but that's not for everybody. And then
How
something else that
many how many people from sorry, I wasn't trying to cut you off. How
good.
many people from our circle, and I'm not talking about our circle of friends, I'm just saying our circle, the people that we grew up around, got married young and have already been divorced at least twice?
I can count on, I know for sure, two hands that I know,
Yes.
that I personally know. And there's probably more than that
Yeah.
because you don't even know who you are as a person at 22, 23 years old.
Yeah. 18, because a lot of
18,
them
like you
got
don't know,
married as soon as they graduated.
you don't know who you are. You have to figure out and you have to get out and go see and go experience and go do things to really find out who you are, you know. And then so I think that's a very, societal thing, and very, tight community culture thing. I'm not a fan of asking that question. I'll never ask somebody when they're gonna get married, when they're gonna have kids. Part of it is just I'm a man, and that, men don't really just answer some kind of questions, to each other. Um, but then on a woman's side, you know, women don't even think about how rude it is to ask another woman when she's gonna have a baby, because some women can't have children,
Yep.
and then
And you
they
don't know how long
want,
they've been trying.
yeah, and you don't have a clue how long they've even been trying and what's going on through their head. You just answering, you just answering a question based off of what you've heard people ask all your life, and you ain't thinking about the kind of weight that it carries. You know, so that's extremely rude. Same thing with, when you gonna go ahead and get married? Who's gonna get married? What does that do right there? That lowers that woman's value and self-esteem to where she don't accept anything. Any dude that come along and give her some attention and say that, okay, I love you, and then now she's not gonna want to lose that. So she's gonna take whatever he give her. He got the upper hand. He's gonna, unless she finds a knight in shining armor, shoot, take it
Bro,
down through there.
so I wanted to bring this up earlier. We were talking about just like trifling women.
Yeah.
I saw this video a couple days ago where this girl said any man that any man that wants to be with her has to know that as soon as they get together, she is going to quit her job.
Hmm.
And if it takes them working 3 or 4 jobs to afford what she wants, then that is a sacrifice that they have to make in order to have her. And I'm like, the fuck?
I wonder what her childhood was like. But that's the question that as soon as I hear something like that, I'm wondering what their childhood was like. Because unless you just saying some outlandish stuff just for clout and
Yeah.
like, And just a
I think
kissing?
that's what it was. I think she was basically saying that she deserves that type of lifestyle, and you are going to give it to her. So she
Well,
doesn't have to work anymore. It's not something that we're working for. Now you're working for us,
I was
or so for me.
I was we could pull the video up or whatever and like have a reaction to that video to that right there. And
Yeah.
while we discuss this because I want to see how old she is.
She's like, I think she was 25.
25?
She was in her
Unless
20s. I want to say 25, 27, somewhere in there.
unless she drugged somebody, unless she drugged some poor fella, she gonna be 45 talking that same mess. You know? Just because, man, it's like who is going to like, man, who's gonna want to accept that challenge? I mean, I'm just saying, like, like if it's through your circumstances, of course you gotta rise if you need to, but who gonna want to go into that fire?
Yeah.
Like just willingly. Like who wants to do that? Why subject yourself to that kind of stress? Because guess what? The minute that fella is not providing that, she already married to him. She gonna take all his stuff. She gonna have a nice chunk insurance policy out on it. She'd probably be the type that'll call the agent and then try to get it done without him knowing. That happens.
Yeah.
Trust me. you know,
Yeah.
um, just because, you know. So then should he have to suffer for the rest of his life and then be treated as such? Because not one time did she say she's gonna listen to him whenever he try to set rules and boundaries in the house.
Yeah.
You know, if she coming like that right there, she's gonna be a terrible mother to her kids and everything else. And kids gonna be messed up from
Well,
jump.
'cause she's already expressing from the gate that it's all about money to her. She ain't trying to fall
Yep.
in love with nobody.
hmm If it's
She
all about if it's all about money for you, then you need to go and you need to go find one of them fellas from another country. They got that long oil money, and we'll see
right,
how much you talk.
right,
See how much talking you do.
right.
You know what I'm saying? uh,
Bro, I heard that and I was like, I'm so glad I don't have to date no more.
I, yeah, dude. Yeah, dude. For me, my wife, she my first, my last, my everything. Like Bear White say, my first, my last, my everything. I ain't doing it no more, bro. Like I knew what I was getting into, and she knew what she was getting into, and we just jive off each other. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Like she pushes me to elevate, and then like I push her to elevate, and just think
what
differently,
y'all
and she does
supposed to
me
be doing.
differently. We grow. We
Yeah,
bounce ideas off. Like that's what you need right there. You know, your home should not be chaotic. You get up, you go to work every single day, you put up with whatever to make a dollar.
hmm,
Unless you're in that certain percentage to where you don't work for nobody no more and you want to be your own boss. You know, but it's more people getting up and going to work every day than it is um, the individuals that are entrepreneurial. And so they're telling what they put up with. So when they come to the house, they don't need no trouble. Now, if they bring in trouble to the house, then hey, dude, you get what you get.
different situation.
But they don't deserve to, like no trouble like that, man. And um, we got um, we just got out of mental health awareness month, which was last month, and that's a huge thing. Men don't talk about their problems. Especially, I mean, I can speak for, the African American community. They don't talk about their problems. And why do you think that?
Because of what we were taught. You were told that therapy is
Suck
for
it up.
crazy people.
Yeah, therapy for crazy people. Suck it up. Don't be weak. Don't be weak. Suck it up. Suck it up. Don't cry. No, like you don't need to instill that because you trying to, want them to be tough and be resilient. That can easily come off as if you talk about what's wrong, if you talk about an ailment or something, or if you don't know something, you got to act like you know something. And then you're going to put yourself in a situation to where you can lose your job because you done lied on a resume, or you done said that you know how to drive this piece of equipment, and you done knocked over a whole 3 rows of shelves in a warehouse. You know what I'm saying? Um, I mean, it's so much stuff like that, man. And that's just from, that culture. So that just goes back to parenting again. You want to create that safe space and say, hey, look, I'm gonna check you when you were wrong, but don't be afraid to come to me. And then if something's bothering you, if you're having, weird feelings of like just being anxious, well, that's anxiety in a kid. If a kid's always kind of talking about they got a stomach ache and they ain't eating a whole bunch of candy or junk food is making themselves sick, they talking about stomach ache, their stomach probably isn't hurting. Like it's probably not like something wrong with their like organs.
It's nerves.
It's nerves. Because as adults you can recognize that in your stomach, that pit in your stomach. Kids can't. Kids get checked out of school because they talking about their stomach hurt, or they're puking. That's nerves, that's anxiety. And parents just overlook it. So then they grow up to be adults that are doing what? Suppressing their feelings. And then you can only suppress feelings for so long in your life to where something or somebody's going to suffer behind it. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's why I'm an advocate for men speaking up, talking about their problems, and wanting to better themselves. If you're going to be successful in this world, my opinion, I'm no life coach. I just kind of follow a few of them. But you need to have an exercise routine. You need to really check your diet out, because what you put in affects your brain as well. Limit your alcohol if you can. If you can't, you need to go see somebody to help you get off of that.
Mm-hmm.
Go see a therapist. Have you a therapist and do some sort of reading or meditating. Me, I read the Bible just so I can function and focus through the day.
I was just talking to somebody about alcoholism today.
Mm-hmm.
And we were talking about how you have a 15 drink minimum. I'm sorry, not minimum, a 15 drink limit on a cruise ship. And I'm like, yeah, you probably should, especially if you drinking, 15 shots. Somebody need to cut you off because that's a lot.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Especially,
And you can't drink all that water when you fall in it.
that's what well, hopefully that's not happening.
You can't drink all that water, bro.
You can try.
You can try. You ain't gonna drink all that, man. So dude, no, like that's a thing right there. And then alcoholism, like where do you think it comes from? Or you can take a dude that was straight laced, sharp all through high school, even in college. But then once he turns, a certain age and gets like his first career job, something like that, he's starting to drink. And then one drink, after work turns into, y'all just hanging out after work now. So you're getting home late. And then, you're waking up, you're not performing to your max, but then, you feel like you gotta have another drink after work. So now I gotta have a drink after work, gotta have a drink after work, right? And then you continue to do that. And then next thing you know, you're going down a rabbit hole that these beers aren't working anymore. So now let me just have 6 beers and let me have 2 mixed drinks. So then now you're drinking every single day, and it's a cycle that's coming, And then before you blink, your body is going to start sending messages to your brain that's like, okay, well, I gotta have a drink, You can't even drive past a store that that sells, alcohol without even looking and that even crossing your mind. So then next thing you know, you drinking all the time. So what happens? Your job starts failing. You know, like your performance starts failing. You know, you're late for work now. You're not prepared for meetings. All this stuff that happens, and then I feel like honestly, it happens because you have a regulation on drug testing. So you know, people that would probably be better off smoking weed than drinking,
Yeah,
they don't smoke weed because they get drug tested.
trouble. Yeah.
But
Look,
then they drink because it's legal.
I'm smiling because as you were telling that story and you painting this picture, I start thinking about Corey Smith again. You remember he had that song "Drinking Again,"
Mm-hmm.
and that's what popped in my head.
It was like a Friday night, but it's Monday afternoon.
Yeah,
There's a party going on in my living room.
look at
It's
you.
beginning to hit the beams, swaying to the sounds of old George Jones, and it won't be long for the whole bottle's gone. You see what I'm saying? That's
Yep.
bars, right? But that's the truth. That's his reality. You know, and that's something, right? I mean, that's what it is, dude. I've seen it happen.
This is water. It's not. It's not alcohol. It's water.
It almost it almost happened to me, to be honest with you. You know, had I not realized what was going on, it almost happened to me. You know, living fast, working fast, you know, high paced job, getting paid well, things seem to be going right for me. No, I was making things harder later on down the road for myself,
Yeah.
you know. And then I'm not ashamed to say that. I'm not ashamed to say, okay, well, I go to therapy, you know, I go see a therapist, you know, because guess what? If things don't work out with me, I'm gonna do my best to check the boxes off to make sure I did everything right.
Look at that. That one hell of a callback. Clap him up.
That's what I'm gonna do, bro.
All
What's your
right, everybody. So that is episode 3 in the books. Jeremy's got to go see his therapist, and I got other shit to do. So talk to you later.
Hey man, therapist on Wednesdays for me. All right, brother.